Hello, folks. It's Reese again. Welcome back to Talking to TV. I hope everybody's nice and safe from Storm Eugene and not getting their airborne everywhere. And I hope that everybody's roof has stayed on their house so far and that you've not collected any trampolines or caravans in your garden that don't belong to yourselves yet. So I'm just back to give a quick preview of Burnley's match tomorrow at Brighton. Uh, I unfortunately won't be going to the game purely because I didn't have anybody to go with, and because I'm disabled, I'm obviously always relying on other people's plans to get to matches, unfortunately. So I really wish I was going, especially after the good performance against United and the outstanding performance against Liverpool. I feel like I'm frustrated that I'm not going, but it is what it is. And just to talk quickly about the game uh, tomorrow. So obviously, we're in a situation now where games are running out, the odds are against us, and not only do we need to win a game of football, we need to string results together and win, preferably 2 or 3 in a row, to get ourselves in the ascendancy in terms of giving survival a real shout. But even though that tomorrow's game against Brighton obviously represents much more of a winnable game of football than the last two, it's still a game that will be very difficult for us. And obviously, a game that we're going to as underdogs. And also, it goes without saying, Brighton are a team that, in terms of the brand of football and the technical prowess that they bring to their game, we are, uh, sort of, we are definitely underdogs, and we do risk being played off the park in a footballing sense if the players don't turn up. Although we're Burnley drawing 11 games this season and Brighton drawing 12 games, there's been more draws than Banks and Picasso put together between these two teams. So, from a logical perspective, uh, everything points to a draw, really. And, it wouldn't be a surprise if both teams cancel each other's out, cancel each other out because of Burnley's sort of inability to score, but relatively watertight defence, and Brighton's inability to keep clean sheets. Brighton always seem to concede at least one goal, and Brighton, even though they have scored more goals this season and been more prominent in attack compared to last season, but you still feel for all the progressive play and for all the eye-catching football and for all I think that Graham Potter is widely regarded as the best England coach. And indeed, personally, I'd favour Graham Potter to be appointed the next manager of England when he comes, when Gareth Southgate comes to the end of his existing contract. I'd favour Graham Potter to be appointed as the next manager at England because I really love the brand of football that he plays, and I think he'd really do justice to all the good English young talent that we have in the game. But basically, Brighton play beautiful football, but don't really have the clinical edge needed an attack, and they certainly lack a striker who can score between 15 and 20 goals a season. And if they had that, you'd have to say, that Brighton and Hove Albion, instead of being included in conversations of, the likes of Southampton, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Everton, if only they could have somebody who'd consistently be more clinical compared to Neil Morpeth, who can be somewhat brash in his finishing. You could be talking about Brighton in the realms of Tottenham, Arsenal, and they are probably equal to Aston Villa, but they could at least be pushing on for a Europa Conference League or even a Europa League place if they could be more clinical, and they could have if they could have turned 3 or 4 more of the draws that they've had into wins, then they would be in 6 or 7 place. So they're a very good team, but just can't seem to finish with chances and draw almost constantly. Now, it's sort of a neutral, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to watch Brighton and play at Old Trafford on Tuesday night, and well, even though it was the game, and the game changed when Lewis Dunk, Brighton's captain and best central defender, was sent from the field for dragging United player down, which meant that United played 45 minutes with 10 men. And it's excellent for Burnley that Brighton will be without one of the talismanic figures. The first half performance of that game leaves me under no illusions of how tricky a game it could be for Burnley. Brighton were very composed, elegant, calm, and methodical in what they did. And in fact, they turned up to Old Trafford and essentially played Manchester United off the park in the first half without creating loads of chances. That David De Gea did pull off a save where he was impersonating Superman, and Brighton, controlled the game basically and made Manchester United look like a bang average team who were sort of parking the bus at home against them. So obviously it's no danger and no difficulty to Burnley to soak up pressure and try and hit a team on the break, and that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. I'd expect that Brighton are likely to have upwards of 70% of the possession against us, and it's going to come down to, can we score? Can we ultimately score the goals and put the ball in the net when we do get the chances? Because we know what we're capable of doing on our day, and we know that, we should have had the ball in the net once, if not twice, against Liverpool, and that is what's going to have to change. The trouble that we seem to be really having at the moment is, can we put a consistent 90 minutes together? Because it either seems to be the case sort of poor in the first half, excellent in the second, excellent in the first half, tailing off in the second. And I did notice quite often on Tuesday night that most of the time when Brighton would cause difficulties by Manchester United, it was through Brighton making sort of unforced errors, by having the ball taken off them from United, or sort of Brighton playing themselves into trouble by either playing it around at the back and misjudging the distances between the passage, not putting enough weight on the balls, or being dispossessed in midfield. So for that reason, tomorrow I hope we go and try and be on the front foot, and we try and press from the front using the sort of intensity of Gerard, Corney, is going to have to put a real shift in, going both ways. And even though there's been some debate in the fan base this week, I think that Dwight McNeil should be restored to the starting lineup, because hopefully, just by Dice proving the point to him last week that he's not undroppable, and that every single player, regardless of a lack of squad depth, should never be irreplaceable in the starting lineup. So I will bring Dwight back into the fold, and I just want us to go and sort of play fearlessly and realise that we're all very proud of recent performances, and that not every week are we playing against elite oppositions. And whilst Brighton are a very good team, I do sort of think that because of sort of Potter being the manager, that there perhaps is a slight sort of English bias in the media put on what he has achieved for them. So, it is a game that's winnable, even though we lost the first game of the season. He could argue that we were unfortunate to do so. We scored early in that game, and I believe that we hit the post and crossbar twice, not 3 times. If I remember, Gudmundsson did hit the post twice in the first half, where he appeared to impersonate Luis Figo. Like, he was unplayable, which he can be on his day, but unfortunately he's a walking sitting note, and you almost forget that he plays for us. But what I mean is Burnley were brilliant on that day, and it shows what we can do against them. And yeah, a repeat performance of that performance for 70 minutes, would go down well, and will be just what the doctor ordered tomorrow. It was only the fact that Burnley dominated the game so much, and just sort of and got frustrated with ourselves, and just sat back and tried to be content with a 1-0 win, and then Brighton equalised, and then Burnley jitters set in, which led to Brighton scoring a late winner. So, yeah, we have played very well, and unfortunately didn't get the result. So, like I say, because Burnley have drawn 11 games this season and Brighton scored 12, and both teams sort of have opposite strengths, really. Brighton are slightly weak in defence, while creating a lot of Burnley are contrast, and we all know that everything points to the other team being able to sort of nullify the other team's strength, and the fact that a vast majority of our visits in the last 9 seasons seem to sort of end in a stalemate, apart from a defeat in 2013 on Burnley's 3-1 win in 2019. It usually does seem to be a draw, including the last time I went there, which a 1-0 draw just before COVID came. when Brighton were the better team on that day. So I wouldn't put money on a Burnley win, but because we need it and because it's becoming too shit a bus time of the season, and mainly because I want to be optimistic, I'm going to say that we're going to win 2-1, and Weghorst is going to break his Burnley duck tomorrow, and Cornet is going to show up with a vengeance. Because he should have enough time to have got energy back in his legs and reacclimatized to his surroundings since coming back from the AFCON. I think that we're going to get a bit of luck that the crossbar and post are going to be our friend again, that Nick Pope will be on top for one, and that, yeah, we're going to play well. Brighton are going to miss chances, and for once, we're going to get the look of the draw in and around the box, the drop of the ball and go our way, and that the players are going to be very clinical, and that we're going to be able to build on the good performances that we've had. We're on 14 points at the moment, and even though tomorrow will only be the 5th game of the season that I miss, I've only seen Burnley game 5 out of those 14 points have only been seen in front of my eyes this season, and that shows you why me staying away from the game could be a lucky omen. So yeah, I just thought that we're basically not coming on here after the game commenting on yet another nail in the relegation coffin, because we've actually played good football at times this season. It's not through sort of being boring and a lack of quality that we are where we are. We all know that it's just a lack of investment, a lack of informed strikers, and yeah, just sort of a psychological hoodoo about not being able to put the ball in the net when we're on top. That's led us to be where we are. But I just feel perhaps I'm somewhat impartial and optimistic for optimism's sake, but I just feel that we're turning the corner now. There's a togetherness, and that we've seen a mentality where we want to give every game our all, and whether it's too little too late remains to be seen, but I'm going to say a 2-1 win tomorrow, and I think that by this time next week, by the end of next Saturday's game at Crystal Palace, we'll look back at these 3 games and we'll either be all but relegated, apart from mathematically, or we'll be galvanised and very optimistic about our chances for the rest of the season, because Newcastle are away at West Ham tomorrow. Newcastle are away at West Ham tomorrow, so on paper, that should be a West Ham victory. Brentford are away at Arsenal, so we ought to be able to still have Brentford in our sides, and Watford and Norwich have away games at Liverpool and Aston Villa respectively. So it will be absolutely massive psychologically and in terms of the maps of the table if we could win on a weekend where all the teams that we're competing with are likely to lose ground. So I can't overemphasize the importance of this game. I really hope the players turn up. It can't be a repeating of performances at home to Watford, away to Leeds, and at home to Newcastle, and at home to Norwich, when the pressure was really on, and the players just didn't. The players seemed to choke on the day of those 4 important fixtures. Just imagine if we could have even won 2 of those, how much rosier things would look. But now we're sort of in a position where everybody on the outside of the club seems to erode us off, and it's only in the fan base and within the club where there's some sort of internal belief and optimism that things are about to change. So yeah, we basically played ourselves sadly into a situation where the pressure isn't there anymore. We've just we've got to go out and believe in ourselves, play with freedom, play with togetherness, and hope for the best. And yeah, up the Clarets, keep safe this weekend. Feel free to like and share this video. And if you enjoy my content and want to listen to me rambling on more and more about Burnley, please subscribe to the channel because it only takes uh, a second to do that. And I love doing these videos. It helps me feel good about myself, to get more confidence speaking and helping me sort of feel like I'm a valued Burnley fan and that kind of thing. So please do that and take care, and let's hope we can be talking positively about the team when I come back to do a review, probably on Sunday afternoon. Take care, bye.